Hey everybody, we're going to be running a hard mode flashpoint today. This one is going to be Taral 5. We're going to be skipping as much as possible. So if you're going to be trying to emulate what we do here, make sure you follow our path as closely as possible. We have a shadow DPS busting a move here. We have our Vanguard tank. We have our Sentinel DPS and Commando heals. All of the people in this group here are slightly overgeared for this hard mode flashpoint, but even Taiwanese and Kalumi we should be able to handle this pretty easily. So, here we go. First thing you're going to want to do is get as far to the left as you can. Hug the wall. Pretty easily skipped there. And we're going to follow this path for most of this beginning area. You're going to come across this area here. Fire on the ground. You will get dismounted. Don't worry. Run through the fire and remount. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. You need to pay real close attention to how close you get to each mob. All of this can be skipped. This as well. Okay, we're coming up to our first area where you will have an encounter. We're lucky enough to have a shadow in our group so that we can skip this area here as well. There you go. This small group here is relatively easy. You will aggro them, but it's okay. This wonderful contraption here will kill all of them. This here is the first mini boss, if you will, that can be skipped very easily. Just hug the right side. So we're going to continue on here. Second CC, or crowd control if you will. Easily skipped once again. Somebody appears to be in combat. The second small group. If you can bring them all the way up to the top here, you can do as we did before. And kill all of them using this wonderful little contraption here. And everybody's ready to go again. So we've gone through the first area with 2 minor contacts and 2 easy crowd control maneuvers. And here we go for the first fight. When you get in here, this is going to be our first boss that we're actually going to be going up against. Captain Shivanek. he's going to spawn and add his big beastly character. Generally speaking, people like to take out the beast first, as well as this pather here that can cause problems in the middle of combat. So this is the ad called Ripper. Scary.
I've seen Hardmodes put up a better fight.
This is actually pretty easily tank and spanked. Nothing real confusing about the encounter itself. But again, if you do have slightly lower geared party members, it can be a little more difficult.
Don't take prisoners here. Hit them with all you've got.
Upon completion, you're allowed to loot this replicator cache here.
That will require help from SIS slicers aboard my ship.
Dropping Tiny's boots this time, as well as Tiny's crystals, 2 apiece. Alright, this can look a little bit daunting as well. But again, this can all be skipped. If you don't have a big, huge spear. Here our shadow is going to be stunning this vine cat. This here can be skipped, except for the vine cat up ahead here, which the shadow will stun. Which takes us to the bridge. It does make it slightly more difficult when the healer is playing DPS. Be careful for the knockback so you don't get knocked off of the bridge. You will be forced to fight a small group once you enter this area here. They will spawn in this. Easily taken out by several AoEs. There is a boss or mini boss in here that we actually just get to skip all the way around. And now for the most ridiculous skip in all of the Old Republic. It is important to always let your tank go first, especially in a hard mode flashpoint. Even though they appear to be regular mobs, they do hit substantially harder. And can definitely take on the most prepared member of the group. Once again, with the help of the shadow, we're able to skip 2 mobs. That probably could have been 3 mobs. There are two ways that you can do this final boss. Number one, get in there, tank and spank. While the tank is holding aggro on the main boss, the two DPSers can take out 2 turrets each. Continue to hold aggro via the tank on the boss, while during the fight you will have 2 waves of spawns or adds on either side. 2 droids on this side, 2 droids on this side, both of strong difficulty. Or if you have a slightly less geared party, you can have the tank aggro the boss and drag him back behind this box here. This allows line of sight between you and the turrets, negating all damage that they may do to you. You can then tank and spank the boss back here, and when the additional NPCs spawn, they will come to you, at which point you can just burn them down with AoEs. For this round, we're actually just going to get out there and do our thing.
Hold the line for the Emperor. Sigma. Take them down.
And there's the additional spawns there on both sides. One DPS will take this side, while the other DPS takes the opposite side.
I will not lose this space. I'll kill you myself if I have to. This is my battlefield, scum. You only leave it in a bag.
This is the second wave of additional mobs. See how the team works as a well-oiled machine. One DPS to one side and one DPS to the other.
Doesn't matter. Kill lands.
And there you go. Pretty straightforward.